SpaceX newest updates on spaceships. The Super Heavy booster prototype finished according to SpaceX founder and CEO Elon Musk. The tweet suggested that the next design will be ready for an actual launch. This is the last stage of testing. Elon Musk tweeted on June 25, 2021, that the prototype booster was ready. He wrote, "We're almost done with the first prototype booster. This will go to test stand A. Next one will fly to orbit. Team has been crushing it many days and nights in a row." The tweet was in response to Tank Watchers, a news agency that tweets updates about spaceships and especially SpaceX. The tweet meant to blow the whistle on the fact that Super Heavy booster had been moved from its testing area between Pad A and Pad B. They also mentioned that the road closure had been cancelled in the Boca Chica area. They stated emphatically that a rollback was expected in the coming days. That was what got Musk to reply with a tweet confirming the status of the Super Heavy booster. SpaceX has changed the naming code for its boosters. The booster that is assembled in the Texas area of Boca Chica is referred to as SpaceX Booster 2. The internal communication also suggests that NASA refers to it as Booster 3. The change in names cannot be pointed to anything significant except the possibility of another booster getting stashed in the basements and a new one completely taking over. The Booster 3 has been in the works since May. The Heavy booster is 9 meters wide and 43 meters high. There are the usual 23 to 24 steel rings fixed on it. The full height for Booster 3 is expected to be 65 meters tall. The Booster 1 was a similar height before it was destroyed by the company. The actual booster that will make it into space is going to be the tallest rocket booster ever made. That full height could be achieved 3 weeks from now, around the middle of July 2021. The booster is a more delicate prototype than Starship. The carrier spaceflight that will transport about 100 people to space has over 5 prototypes already completed. The booster, however, is a larger, stretched Starship with a better engine, no flaps, no cone, and a doom side that should occupy grid fins the size of a car. The Super Heavy booster tanks must also have a tube to transfer methane as a source of power. The tube that connects methane to the oxygen tanks is twice the size of Starship's transfer tubes. The 35-meter tube for Booster 3 has already been fixed into the prototype. The engine section has 29 Raptor engine power to support the flight. All of the power that this booster holds and all the work that must be done is nowhere near what will go onto the next booster before it goes onto the launching pad. The whole process is going to be complete by mid to end July if we are following the timelines that work is happening on these space flights. Brady Keniston is a spaceship photographer who goes around the Boca Chica work area to take photos. Like Lab Padre, he also uses drones and cameras all around the factory. He found a hot gas thruster attached to the Super Heavy booster. We have not received an official name in the spirit of Elon Musk giving pet names to everything. The CEO referred to it as a hot gas thruster. The engines are designed to enhance the efficiency of the Starship and the Super Heavy booster. The hot gas thruster is supposed to launch first in the actual booster that will go into orbit. The first mention of the engines was a tweet on May 26, 2021. The tweet read, "Aiming to have hot gas thrusters on booster for first orbital flight." The photo shows that the tweet was a work in progress. Before the hot gas thruster, the booster was using a cold gas thruster which was propelled by liquid nitrogen. The liquid nitrogen-filled cold gas thrusters are a primary part of Falcon rockets like Falcon 9. The purpose of cold gas thrusters is to control the altitude in space and help safe descent on Earth. The cold gas thrusters are responsible for all the flipping in the air, maintaining stability during free calls, and repositioning for landing. The company recently got around to using the hot gas thruster. They were of the view that it was an expensive cost and not something necessary. But during all the rockets that used cold gas thruster, the liquid nitrogen is carried in separate pressurized vessels. The hot gas thruster will use methane and oxygen as fuel. The use of oxygen and methane means no external pressurized vessels, which affects the weight of the spaceflight altogether. It will also reduce costs. The cold gas thruster is not effective in a booster. The boosters are bigger and require more fuel and engine capacity. A full stashed booster will drain a cold gas thruster quickly. The hot gas thruster is 5 times more effective than the cold gas thrusters. The famous reusable SpaceX rocket Falcon 9, which has completed more than a dozen trips to the Earth's lower orbit, was billed to launch on the 25th of June 2021, but it has been pushed back. There are technical concerns that will delay the rocket launch until much later. The Falcon 9 is expected to launch with 80 small satellites. SpaceX has said that they will check the rocket to be sure that it is in the best state. The company tweeted this together with the information that additional rocket news and future timelines will be announced. They refused to comment on the situation any further. A customer who had a satellite in the Falcon, however, confirmed that the 28th of June is the new date for takeoff. The anonymous informant explained that the satellites will now go on Transporter 2 and no longer on the Falcon 9. The Transporter 2 mission is one of 2 SpaceX dedicated satellite missions. The Transporter 1 mission was launched in January and it delivered 143 small satellites to a polar orbit around a sun-synchronized altitude. The Transporter 2 is expected to carry 88 small satellites into similar orbits. This transportation is a paid load service that SpaceX delivers for organizations at a fee. It is similar to a delivery service. The satellites in the Transporter 2 include those belonging to the US military and Argentine and Finnish satellite companies. The SpaceX timelines have been duly followed and executed. This is one of the few times that there has been any form of delay. Some critics have even complained that the company is rushing through with these timelines, although no safety complaints have been filed against the company ever. The administrator of NASA, Bill Nelson, explained that going to Mars is not something for the immediate timelines, but more for the future. He explained to Congress that the entry point to Mars has specific times that it aligns with Earth. If the team missed those times, then they will have to wait it out until another alignment. He explained that if the right window period is not used, the team can be stuck on the planet for a year, whereas if they waited it out and went at the right time, they will be done in time to head out. He said that developing the technology to be able to enter Mars throughout the year will have to be developed. So all timelines for space exploration must be duly followed and without delays. Starlink, an internet provider which is a subsidiary of SpaceX, says that they will reach global coverage by September this year. The company is ready to dominate globally with 1,800 satellites deployed. The satellites are going to form a global connection once they all arrive at their global orbits or destinations. The tough part about the global coverage goal is that every country will have to process the regulations of internet service providers and get approval. Starlink plans to deploy 12,000 satellites in total, across the world at a rate of approximately $10 billion. The internet providers currently offer beta internet services to 11 countries. What do you think these updates mean to SpaceX and their overall timelines for space exploration? Do you believe that Starlink will get permission to provide internet to the whole planet, the first to reach this feat? Please share your